Oh, yes. My ship was exploded in my last battle. Oh, bodies everywhere. Oh, catastrophe. They don't let me currently fly anymore. I'm very sad. All right, I think that we are ready to commence our long journey. So where we left off the last time we played, there was a battle that ensued between a little... I don't even know what to call it. It's not a brain-like creature. It's not an octopod-like creature, but it's flying little thing with tentacles. Tadpole-esque. A tadpole possibility, one might even say. And we also had a human mutation. And after what was a decently, I don't want to call it a difficult battle, but it was a battle that took a little bit out of the party. And I think Shroud gets the idea, maybe be a little more cautious before barging into rooms. So here is where we pick up. Frampt barges back in the room after an absence. And he says, "Hey guys, what'd I miss?" And as he does, his voice begins to slow and elongate. So, "Hey guys, what?" And as it does, Shroud, Nyx, and Nexer, you all exchange glances, and the world around you, like the light itself, is pulling out, and the room and the vision is elongating, and everything is stretching, and it stretches so far that white light becomes the only thing for a moment, and then everything flashes back in, and your ears start with this very loud ringing noise as they're trying to adjust, and your eyes are struggling to adjust too, and after a moment they finally do, and you find yourself on a stage with people and monsters and beings all looking up at you, and they all seem upset about something, and then somebody in the back starts to boo, and you look at each other, and floating behind all of this is a monster that's like a floating eyeball with little eye stalks out of the back of its head, and it looks at the party, and you can hear it say very clearly, "Oh no, another astral snap!" And this is where we'll pick up. What does the party do?
What the hell just happened, guys?
Really quick, as a divination wizard, would I have any kind of prior information regarding this happening? Like, would I have an idea of what happened just now?
Ooh, roll a very high Arcana check.
Arcana. Okay.
I think that's probably the best thing for this specific episode.
Oh, no. 15.
No, 15's pretty good normally.
Oh.
But here it's not nearly as good as you want it to be. And the world is still flashing around you. And as you look out, I want you to take a picture in your mind of really what this scenario is. At the bar, so
there's a hamster.
Here, there are basically what look like drow. At the front are kinds of elves that you have never seen before. The back has creatures that look like humanoid oozes that are almost translucent. And next to them is a penguin in a cloak who's looking at you. Next to them are Githyanki, whom you've probably never seen. In front of them are hippo people wearing uniforms and smoking pipes. More penguins. That's a little mechanical gnome. Looks like elves here. And yes, believe it or not, there's a hamster sitting on the table and it's looking at you just like everybody else. And its paws are forward, just as curious about what happened as you. Over here, it looks like bug people. Next to the fireplace with the weird face motif where its mouth has a fire in it. It looks like monkey people or chimpanzee people. And then you have more Githyanki here and a big gigantic something with light blue skin there just looking out expectantly like you're all putting on a play. And to top it all off, behind all of them is a big beholder that just went, oh no.
Oh god, guys, we're playing Spelljammer.
You caught it. Good job.
Give me inspiration.
Yeah, go ahead and take a point of inspiration.
I already have inspiration. I was just
Would you like to give inspiration to somebody else?
Sure, why not? If whoever doesn't have it.
I think I got heroic inspiration, so.
All right. If you all have heroic inspiration click, then nobody gets anything. Dangled and taken away. All right, so the beholder floats towards you guys, and he says, now I know this may seem a little bit weird, but hear me out. Hear me out. We pulled a little bit too hard on the astral dials, and everybody was watching your stuff, and we tuned it just a little bit too far, and now you're experiencing what's called an astral snap. I don't want any of you to be afraid. My name is Lucky Luigi.
So, Lucky, what do you expect us to do here?
Well, there's no real expectation. It's much more of you're here by accident, and when honestly this happens and your astral self is ripped away from your real self for a minute, you typically have no recollection of it when you get back to the real world. So what I suggest is that you experience the experiences here, and then you'll forget about them next week. You know, I'm honestly surprised. The big guy who runs all of this, his other group, you know, the other people that we watch on that stage, they're on their way here now. I didn't expect you guys to beat them here. I'm very surprised by it. He floats over everybody and starts heading towards the stage. Welcome to the Rock of Brawl and the Happy Beholder.
The Rock of Brawl?
Yes, it's a wonderful centralized location. A variety of people and things that want to be people come here. Like the hamster over there, he thinks he's a person. He's not a person. I'll tell you what, he's not a person. He thinks he is. He'll tell you he is. He thinks because he's not a giant space hamster that he can be one of us. Oh, he's a good guy. Welcome to the Rock of Brawl.
Oh. Well, this is certainly weird.
Everybody else has started going back to their meals and conversations, and the tone has started to increase. When you came, there was a lot of silence, a little bit of booing that their regularly scheduled programming had been interrupted. But now they've come to terms with it, and they have started enjoying their meals.
So, observing myself and Nyx and Shroud, are we astral right now?
To your perception, you seem rather physical.
Okay. I am going to come off the stage and I am going to sit at this table. I'm going to look around for a bar person or a waiter person.
As you sit
Order
down,
some nice stronger mead. Oh yeah, go ahead.
As you sit down, the hamster scurries up to you, goes back on its hind feet, and says, "Hello."
Ah, you must have known I was coming to address you. What's your deal, you little critter?
Well, I'm Roo. I'm a miniature giant space hamster. And my daughter says, "Hello, everybody."
Hello. She can play the hamster's voice.
Oh God, no.
let her play the hamster.
Oh no. We'd all be TPK'd by a hamster. It'd be bad.
You know, I don't think I would mind that.
Say hello to everybody, sweetheart.
Hello.
Rue he sits on his haunches and says, "You know, if you want a guide to show you around the Rock of Brawl, I'll happily do it. But you have to make me a deal. You have to let me write about it when we're done."
You know, right now, I don't see anything strange about this. And I look up
strange about nothing.
Yeah, I look at Nyx and I look at Shroud and I wave them over to come to the table.
Shroud and Nyx, do you come over?
I do.
Nyx, do you come over too? So, Nyx, as you come over, this very tall, heavy hippo person stands up. He looks at you and he says, "Why, hello there. I am Captain Potamus. I must say that I am intrigued by what I've seen. Did you expect the truth of your ancestry to be so revealing? It was one of my favorite scenes. Yes, Captain Potamus, may I have your autograph, young lady?"
Holy shit.
Nyx, I don't think you're coming across.
Roo. No, I guess I'm blocked.
How do you respond to Potamus? He hands you a sheet of paper for an autograph. "Yes, my dear, you'll be famous one day, and I'll say that I met her on her first trip to the Rock of Brawl."
You got your first official fan there, Nyx.
Woohoo! I guess I take the paper and I jot down my official first and last name in a nice little autograph.
He very carefully, and his fingers are very, very thick, much more delicately than you think possible. He creases it and he gently puts it in his pocket and he says, Yes, Captain Potamus shall remember this. You have earned a fan in me. Yes. Well done." He steps away and sits back down.
Sweet.
I suppose as Nyx finishes coming all the way over, I'm pretty sure that was a rambunctious individual, though loud is descriptive.
GIF are loud creatures, yes. They have no subtlety in them and any concept of it.
I'm gonna be like, Well, you know what? No, never mind. I'm not going to question that because I kind of have been following the party as well. I was going to be like, that was weird. How does that one know you? But derp. Anyway, I'll just be like, well, Nix, I know I've been one to follow the party as exploits, but I didn't know you've had a fan already.
The gentleman next to Nix in the helmet looks over at you and says, "We're all here because we're fans of the party. You see, you are the entertainment here. We connect to what you do, and we watch. There's actually some side pots. I lost big when Grum became stone. There were heavy odds that he would not be the first one to die, and boom, I'm out like 50 gold in a wink of a Medusa. It's unbelievable."
Well, yeah, you know, shit happens, and you shouldn't play with your money, only your life.
Shroud, the one next to you, you can't really tell if it's a man or a woman. She's much more androgynous. He could be either. Looks at you and smiles.
Well, obviously I can't smile back because I'm wearing a mask, but I just
You
kind of,
can smile with your eyes.
well, I just kind of take my fingers, press them to the center of my lips, and just put a smile, draw a smile on my mask.
Nice.
Can you imagine someone trying to be all edgelordy and then they do that? That's great.
Everybody in the bar not everybody, but everybody that's looking just kind of smiles.
Interesting.
Rue is still paying you attention, Nexor.
So you're mentioning playing tour guide for us, but before we get to that, I'm curious. This seems awfully like something I've heard of. I just know the detail of basically this one individual was living his life, but everyone else was playing characters, and others outside of that world, they watched him, and I believe his name was Mr. Truman or something. I can't recall. Might be something else. Mr. Carey, Jim Carrey, or something. I don't know. Anyway, what's the deal with that? Why do you guys watch us? How do you watch us? It's a little disturbing, but
well, actually,
not unheard of. I've just never heard of it being done so in this manner for entertainment purposes, and also more directly, why us?
Oh, well, if it makes you feel any better, it's not just you. See, a long time ago, we had like bards and people sang and danced. In the Rocker Brawl, there's actually a big theater company, and they put on plays, and it's a really cool thing. But, you know, Luigi kind of knows more than anyone else, and he said, "Hey, why don't you all come and watch these adventures in the multiverse?" And then he found a way to stream it on Witch TV, and then we just kind of watch everything, and it's really cool. And can I be your sidekick? His paws are like tapping once, flipping over, tapping again in like anxious wait.
Well, Rue, you are. I'm just gonna be honest here. You are quite adorable.
I am actually all. So the big ones, the big giant space hamsters, they think they're adorable, but they're really dumb. And the small ones are really cute because we're pocket sized, and we can go in your bag and we can help you. And sometimes I could draw you things and write you things, and we could write stories together. And I could be your sidekick.
Well, there is an open position that I've never once filled.
Hooray! I'm a sidekick. So legal contract, binding contract, legal contract, binding contract. As he says
How about
contract,
a blood pact?
as
I look at him like the most awful look, but it's almost borderline goofy.
the penguin next to you turns its head towards you, and it squawks for a second, and then it says, "Contracts? Oh yes, contracts. I've got contracts. What do you need? You need it. We can make a deal."
Shit. I'm gonna be like giving like glaring looks back and forth in curiosity. That's my body language cue to ask anyone for assistance as I roll this insight check. That seems a little shady.
Go ahead and roll an
So
insight.
is anyone gonna offer assistance?
Does anybody want to see if this penguin, this Fey Rangi, is suspicious?
I'll do an inside check as well.
Anybody that wants to can. Nexer, if you want to roll with advantage, you go right ahead.
I appreciate it. I'm specifically inciting this, like them pushing like a deal, and it doesn't matter. I rolled horribly.
So Nix, did you? There you go. Nix rolled. Let me ask you guys this before I flavor any answers. Does anybody have experience with Fey creatures? Besides, like, the few that we've had interactions with, like Tobin and Frampt.
No.
I probably would not. I've been kept up in my room with my books. Just a dwarf.
I will say it seems genuine in its desire to make a deal.
Well, I am smart, so I'm not just gonna say deal, and then a contract is presented. So what is this contract? What would this contract stipulate?
Do you ask the
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He looks at you and he says, "It really depends what you need. You see, you need things, we get things, we make exchanges, and we can get things from across the multiverse. Some things licit, other things we don't talk about it, but licit and, well, licitless."
I mean, that's useful no matter what side of the coin it's on.
It really is.
What sorts of things would you seek in exchange?
Well, normally people sell gold for items. There is a rate of exchange. You understand. If you don't have money, then we could make other arrangements. Maybe you have something you would like to barter, or someone you would like to barter, or maybe you would like to take on the burden of a hag's curse for a small favor. It's an exchange of curse. It's a passing of the curse. Yeah, but that's in extreme circumstances. And you'd have to get something that you really want. Like, there is these magical sticks that fire comes out of the end. I can get you like 5 of those. 5 of those. And I've got a client.
Nexor kind of chuckles when he's talking about wand of fireballs.
Roll an insight check. Yep, wand of fireballs. Not a torch.
Maybe.
I'm just gonna. I would like to ask him if this witch curse is what turned him into what he is.
He goes, "Squawk! I'm a Doar. No. I was born a Doar. And a Doar I will always be. And my daughter's a Jedi."
And with
That's
his
part of the
response,
role play. I don't care what you say. That's official now.
She has a lightsaber and is doing a Jedi fighting stance.
That's awesome. Your daughter is going to become
And she's
the
gonna,
next big thing.
She's gonna
Wait.
poke me in the eye with her
Before
lightsaber.
turning to the dark side. She's already training for it by killing her father.
Yeah, she's my daughter. She might.
with his
Okay,
response,
so like real quick, let's. Oh, sorry.
I'll just say, well, I'll see my way to the door.
Do you go over to their table?
Sure. Yeah. Why not? Let me scope these out. I'll walk by the smiling man.
So as he's walking over, I'm gonna tell the same Dwar, like I'm gonna talk with Rue and see what kind of exchange we can come up with. But in the meantime, no curses, please. I'm saying this to the Dwar. Like let's leave any and all curses and bad things out of it. Let's make this kind of simple. And
you feel a little tug. You feel a little tug on your robe sleeve from down below.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Rue
From below
Rue tries to scurry up your arm to get to your ear, and he leans in real close and he says, "It's really not smart to make deals with Fae. If you do make deals with them, just make it clear cut. They think they're merchants, but their Fae ancestry is really in them. It's a dangerous deal, whatever it is."
Okay. Well,
if you want to buy legitimate goods, the Mercane over there, they are better, honorable tradesmen, but they get kind of annoying after a while.
I'm gonna kind of like nod my head to let Rue kind of lead me away or lead me around. So like have him take me wherever he wants to take me, or like where we can talk or something like that.
If you let him on your shoulder, he'll actually tell you to talk to the Beholder.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, real quick, top of game, Beholders are fiends, or are they also aberrations? Because if they're aberrations, it's most highly likely I would know quite a bit about Beholders. So there would be some kind of restraint or hesitance.
Let's see. I think they're classified as
he hasn't shown any hostility.
Large aberration. He is a large aberration.
Okay. Yeah, Rue, that... I don't know. I mean...
No, you don't understand. He's the smartest Beholder that ever existed. He's also the nicest Beholder that ever existed. We're actually in his tavern. This tavern, the Happy Beholder, it's his place.
Excuse me, y'all. I stand up so that the table is about chest high, and I excuse myself from the table to Nyx and to Shroud, and let him take me wherever to the Beholder.
All right, if you go talk to the Beholder, he'll look at you and he says, "I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, a scary Beholder. He's gonna zap me with his eye socks. Ah! You don't need to worry. You see,
well, my studies have told me to believe otherwise. So consider this quite a big deal on my part. But anyway,
well, let me put it to you like this. Do you know why Beholders have so many eyes?
It could be for a multitude of reasons. I'm not into riddles, unfortunately.
No, it's a
I'm smart. I'm not insightful.
It's a straightforward question. We're supposed to be able to see everything. See, and I've seen a little bit more than most Beholders. See, I know the guy that's running the picture, and he thinks he's in charge. He thinks he's making all the funny voices. No, it's actually us. We're controlling him. That's neither here nor there. Don't worry about it. You'll eventually find out. But you see, as those that know everything, we don't really need to bring harm or pain to the world. Now, the beholders that do that, and that's honestly most beholders, they don't understand things. I came to understand things a long time ago. A long time ago. And you see, I'm sorry that you accidentally got brought here, and then I'm sorry that you're gonna forget the place at midnight when we turn back into pumpkins. But in the meanwhile, go take a walk around the Rockaball. Go to the docks, get on a spell jammer, and go take a trip to the fountains. I promise you, being honest, I know you have airships, but let me tell you this, the airships you have in Toro, Spelljammers. Spelljammers are where it's at. Go to the docks, you'll find somebody that'll give you a ride, and you can actually enjoy the wonders of the astral sea. Or you're a smart guy, go take a walk to the Library of Spheres. It's a wonderful library. They don't got a lot in the way of magic books, but really it's for nerds, it's taking in the books, seeing the books. That's where the excitement is. Or you could just take a walk around the streets, but I want to remind you something. This is a peaceful place. No one's allowed to fight each other, right? You can't, if you see something you don't like, if you see a monster, there's no other beholders here, so you don't got to worry about that. But if you want to take a walk around the town, enjoy it, don't fight anything, just enjoy the wonders of the astral sea and the Rockabrow. I'm telling you, one of the funnest things you can do, go to the docks, get on a spelljammer, and take a ride. You'll love it. You'll find somebody that you can go fishing with. If you're lucky, they'll take you to see one of the sights. Enjoy your moment in the Rockabrow. Nix, I think you're muted again.
My, you are just so creative. It's quite relieving, honestly, to have certain prejudices just naturally ingrained into your brain, and then to have somebody just completely go against the typical norm. It's just a breath of air. Thank you. That alone has been an experience, and it's quite a shame that I won't remember any of it.
So, Lucky Luigi looks at you and he says,
What? Molly trying to get in?
Lucky Luigi asks about my dog Molly first. And he says, go take your stroll around the Rockabrow. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
All right, Lucky Luigi. I'll take you up on your words, but I do have one question.
Anything, my friend.
Well, actually, it's two. It's a two-part question. The first being why we won't remember any of this, and if there's even a way to remember. And also, what's the point if we won't remember?
Well,
experiences are based on memory. And if you don't remember your experience, then can you say it ever really happened?
Well,
those feelings won't be with you.
I look at it like this. So, one, you won't remember because you're not supposed to be here. So, see, when we tune... You don't have to give me the dog, Julia.
She wanted in.
No.
Sorry, theater of mind. I just have her picking up the dog and putting it in your lap.
The dog and
the
dog and the daughter are each in my lap.
No.
Yep, I was right.
And all right, so
that's a picture right there. Take a picture and be like #D&D Dad Life.
All right. So the first question that Luigi answers, he says,
no.
he says, well, when the astral body and the astral connection, they become stretched. It's like the separation of the brain and the soul is momentarily pulled apart, and then you come into being, and you're really not connected to your main brain right now. My apologies for that. There's no real way around it. You're not supposed to be here.
A literal out-of-body experience, I understand.
Very much so. And the second part, what else would you do while you're here? Do you wanna take a nap, and I can get you a room, and you can spend your entire time in this Spelljammer setting in a room, or hear me out. You could actually fly on a Spelljammer, and maybe you won't remember it, but you'll take in the sights, and maybe your soul, when it snaps back, will be a little bit better for it. You choose.
No, when he gets a little sassy, I kind of chuckle out loud, and I say, "No, you're right. I'll go ahead and experience what you have to offer." As I give Rue a kind of like scratch behind the ear there, and I'll just politely dismiss myself and like look for the exit, or like just be like, "Which way, Rue?"
Rue points at the big door and says, "That's the way to the street." But before anybody goes, Shroud or Nyx, do you guys
Over
want to? That is the door to the outside. Yes. Shroud or Nyx, do you guys want to explore anything in the tavern? Talk to anybody? Ask anybody questions?
I would like to. I'd like to come over here actually and talk to this big blue guy.
As you do, this thing looks at you, and it goes, "Hello. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Farfalia. And my daughter's Grogu from Star Wars."
Well, I'm gonna Shroud's gonna say, "I'm nice to meet you. What brings you here?"
Our people have an embassy here in the district. We are traders by nature. We deal in all kinds of goods in the astral seas. You understand, don't you?
Of course I do. What kind of goods do you offer?
The astral sea has many fun things. For example, one of the best things we can offer is the wildlife along the astral way towards the celestial roads.
The celestial roads, the astral way.
Yes, you see, this is a place that connects to many places. And we collect goods from the multiverse for a variety of reasons.
Here.
What reasons would those be?
Primarily for trade. Some are used in very exotic spells. Others are used to control monsters. For example, one of the best uses of celestial flowers is to help imprison creatures connected to the lower planes. It forces them within a region that makes it difficult for them to traverse the flower's edge. It's like a natural repellent.
Interesting.
Of course, spell jamming and spelljammer equipment is an in-demand item. You're misbehaving. Going through the
I
baseball.
am?
No, my daughter's throwing the baseball on the ceiling. We call that misbehaving.
That's
I thought I was on mute when I said that.
oops.
Oops, indeed.
Huh.
She is quite a showman. Shroud, did you have any gold on you when you shifted?
When I use disguise self.
No, but like on your character sheet, do you have any gold?
I 15 platinum pieces and 8 gold pieces.
So when your astral body and your real body kind of stretched and separated, if you reach into your pocket for a gold or a platinum piece, you pull out more of an idea of a platinum piece than the physical piece itself. That is, you think it should be there, but this stuff didn't necessarily transfer with you.
Gotcha. And I'm just gonna say nice to meet you.
It is my pleasure. There will be a time when we make a deal. Yes, we can make many deals given the right circumstances.
Well, that doesn't seem ominous.
No, the penguin people are ominous. Never trust a doar. They will sell the same thing to 3 people and expect 4 different outcomes.
Dad, monkey noodle.
They told me the same about you.
Yes, they would. They would slander us. Go ahead and roll a deception check.
Yeah, that's a 23.
He believes you. He just says, the Dwar are unscrupulous creatures. Beware. They are often called the Fey Rangi of our universe.
Well, thank you. I shall stay away from them.
Yes. Thank you for the conversations. I hope
Thank
to
you.
meet you one day when you are truly here.
Alright, and then I just kind of look around for Nexor and kind of see where he's at.
All right, Nix, do you want to do anything? Do you want to talk to any of the people? Do you want to example any of the exotic cuisine?
I don't think she really wants to talk to people.
I could understand. You are a stranger in a strange place, and this would be naturally overwhelming for a lot of people.
He's famous though.
Would you be curious about anything?
I would kind of like to ask Captain Potamus why he thinks I'm so famous.
Well, you see, my dear, I think that you are a charming person in this group. You have a soft-spoken strongness to you, but I have seen you zap the pants off many things. Yes, there you are. Poof, there it goes. Tiefling after my own heart. If you weren't a tiefling, you could be a gif. Blow them to smithereens.
Love that.
Yes. If you ever need a ship, if you ever need to ride on a ship, Just know that I am the Potamus for you. Oh, yes. My ship was exploded in my last battle. Oh, bodies everywhere. Oh, catastrophe. They don't let me currently fly anymore. I'm very sad.
Aw. Poor Captain Potamus.
Yes. Don't worry for me. I've created quite a pension for myself with all the booty from all of the pirates I've executed. No need to feel sad for me. I'll buy another ship shortly.
Pirates, you say?
Yes, it's
Which
an
kind of
unfortunate.
pirates?
It's an unfortunate thing. You see, there are them pirates that fly around here and there are the clown varieties that go here and there, and then there are the regular ones. Yes, it's unfortunate. It's difficult to keep the trade routes free of the rabble.
Pirates that fly? I've never heard of pirates that fly.
Oh, you see, everything flies here. There is no land or there's no sea. There are really stops along the Great Astral Road.
What kind of stops?
Well, you're on one right now. The Rock of Brawl is centrally located. Beyond that, you have a variety of other asteroids, some big and some little, that sit dotted along the way. And of course, you have the main paths of the Astral Sea, which carry you to places. Once you leave the Astral Sea, of course, you're in various solar systems or systems of black holes or void spaces. Yes, and they're all quite different in and of themselves. But you know, an endless amount of life and unlife and everything. But here in the Astral Sea, there are a variety of asteroids you may stop at. Oh, and there's the graveyard of the gods. It has the body of all the dead gods that have ever existed. Yes, that is quite a sight as well.
Where's that located?
If you head on a Spelljammer, you see, and then you head south by, I believe, southwest from here, you will eventually run into the graveyard of the gods. That is quite a far ride, though, yes. Yes, most people that come on a short trip, they would rather see the fountains. You can particularly see that in a single day, if you will.
And what are at these fountains?
Well, imagine that there are magic explosions and sparklers, and that attracts wonderful wildlife and little swimming flying fishies and eels and all other kind of great things. It's a great and wonderful spot. Yes, if I had a Spelljammer, I would take you there, and you would say, yes. 'Cause who can say no to Captain Potamus?
Well, I don't know where my crew is going,
Yes.
but I sure would like to check out those fountains.
Go towards the docks. I promise you that you will have... There's always somebody that can take you somewhere. Molly, put that down. Good dog. Sorry, puppy's acting up.
Uh-oh.
Julia left the room, but she left the dog to torment me. So now the dog's just gonna sit on my lap and just get attention. She's not as small as she used to be, so she doesn't really sit as easy as she used to. Would the party like to leave the Happy Beholder?
Before we do, I was actually planning on arousing the party back together to let them know, hey, so this place basically seems to be a giant tourist stop. So I feel like whatever the reason is, we're here. We might as well take advantage and, relax. And I'll mention I'll mention how there was a library mentioned that I want to kind of check out personally, but I think that we as a party should all check out this other thing I heard of. They're
The
basically what these. Say that again, Nix. You've heard of the fountains too? Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's what Captain Potamus just told me.
Oh, that rambunctious individual that basically thinks you're famous.
Yeah.
Him.
He yells over, "She is famous! You're all famous! All of you, yes, except for the one that died. A lot of people are mad at him."
Is that a reference to Grum?
Yes,
that is
we
a
all
reference to
miss him.
Grum.
So I'm gonna be like, he's not dead. He's not dead. He's just a statue.
As good as dead.
No. Anyway, sorry, I almost metagamed.
I'm just gonna say I didn't find out anything. I was almost about to fall asleep because of the slow talk.
That's funny. The only thing is, I'm not sure how this place works, but to get to the fountains, we need something called a spell jammer, which I believe is some kind of aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not 100% sure how we can get a hold of one of those since
I keep hearing that we need to go to the docks.
Luigi looks down and he says, "Go to the docks. Good, trust me, you can't miss them. When you step outside, you're gonna see things you ain't never seen before."
Thanks, Luigi.
You're welcome.
That's my buddy Luigi. He's definitely thrown me for a loop. Look, I'm gonna address Luigi really quick. Look, Luigi,
Yes, Panda.
I like you.
I like
and
you too.
It sucks that I'm not gonna remember you, but there's gotta be some kind of way, like perhaps if you ever visit my realm, you can come visit me, because you're definitely one, and I don't mean to say this in a racist undertone, but you're definitely one of the good ones.
I take no offense. Beholders are a group unto themselves. Not all beholders are bad in your world. Some just don't understand the full depth of reality. For example, there's the Xanathar. He ain't the worst beholder I've ever seen. He's not. The Xanathar could be a good guy. If he wouldn't run the damn criminal organizations, he could be okay.
I
I definitely have a lot more research to do, but you know what? That would be a cool world.
I'm just kind of looking at Luigi, wondering who Panda is.
Oh, it's don't worry about it. There's some things that I know in the world that nobody else knows. Don't worry about it. Forget about it.
You said you're wondering who Panda is?
Yes.
Don't worry. Forget about it. Forget I even said anything. He's just some laughing clown skull in a jester somewhere. Don't worry about it.
That's not nice.
No, nice.
The fourth wall break.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Would the party like to leave the happy beholder?
Yeah, I was gonna see if like they're all ready to go, but definitely. Oh,
Yeah, I'm ready to.
I want to bring Rue with me though.
Rue will go with you.
Woohoo!
Okay, I want to bring Rue with me back to the real world too.
That's more difficult, but who knows what could happen in the future. All right, so
Look, that's gonna be the whole conversation, the whole trip.
so the party steps out of the happy beholder,
Oh boy.
and in many respects, this is just like any other town that you would have ever seen. Now, to give you an idea of where you're at, the happy beholder is here.
Dang.
So when you step out, there's a hustle and bustle in the street. The variety on the street of creatures and humanoids and whatever monstrosities are there are just as ever present as in the tavern. When you look up, you see ships. Some look exactly like sailing ships that you are used to fly overhead. Some look like spiders. Some look like... It's hard to describe the variety of them. There are a ton of ships. There are even ships, when you look, that are flying to you like they're upside down. You look up from a long distance away, and you can see the deck and people standing on the deck upside down as they pass over. To one side, you see those floating ships off in the distance about here. And there are a lot of hustle and bustle along the streets. Rue tells you that if you head... Where's the beholder? That if you head this way, you'll go to the docks. If you head a long way this way, you will get to the Library of Spheres here. But he is willing to be your tour guide. He'll tell you to get to the fountains, you have to go towards the docks, and you have to get on a Spelljammer.
Right, but what's the general direction? Like, we have to go... We're basically here, I think you said. We have to go this way for the docks, and the library's over here.
Right, he says...
So what's the direction of the fountains? Like,
the fountain, he'll tell you the fountains aren't on the Rock of Brawl. They're an anomaly in the Astral Sea itself, that it will take you the better part of a day to sail towards. But he tells you they're certainly worth seeing. I gotta let the dog out of the room. She's whimpering and eating and breaking things.
You guys, I don't know if you have any destinations you want to check out. But I definitely would not mind seeing the library before heading to the fountains, if that's okay with y'all.
I mean, I'd like to check out the Sphere Library. That sounds pretty cool.
Cool, yeah, that's great. You're the only other, like, not to say y'all are stupid, but you're the other smartest character in the group. So, like, he would probably say that in a much better way in character. And just be like, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. I love that there's another interested person. Like, there's another person that likes books.
Are you guys heading towards the
say that again? I missed it.
Are you guys heading towards the Library of Spheres?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and do that. We should still get a ship first, though, right? Because that's a long trek.
You'll find that most of the walking on the thing is actually done by foot. Basically, the ships are largely for flying to and from. Most of the people here just kind of stop to resupply. Not know that you might not necessarily know that. There's not a lot of like a bus system.
Okay. I thought with all the flying vessels, like that was like the normal mode of transportation.
Maybe
but I got
to and from, yes. Once you actually get here, though, it's kind of walking the roads.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like within the local transit is what I was thinking. But I got you. More like this is like a township type of thing.
Like one of the things that the entire map from end to end, the Rock of Brawl is a mile.
Oh,
that's small.
It is not meant to be a huge place. The streets are the buildings are very tightly packed together.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was much bigger than that. That's why I was like, should we fly? Because that's way out the way.
so if you guys...
But no, if it's just a mile, that ain't no thing. That's nothing.
Not even a mile. It'd be like maybe 3/4 of a mile. So
yeah, that's nothing. That's walkable.
To give you guys an idea of what you see, As you walk by here, a view of the docks become more visible, and there are just as big a variety of ships at the docks and anywhere else. And there, you can also see that there are a number of ships floating off in the distance stationary, either just sitting there or maybe waiting for their turn to dock. As you go by, this area is the dry dock. You see Spelljammer ships being built there or repaired there, maybe ones that have problems staying afloat in the astral sea. They are currently under works. The rest largely looks just like neighborhood as you're going along here. When you get to here, this area is the parade grounds. Big open fields. It looks like there is a place centralized for entertainment, maybe for speeches and whatnot. It's a very picturesque city. And as Luigi said, there's not a lot of strife that appears. There's all kinds of creatures walking next to each other that in other circumstances would probably be hostile to each other. And when you guys get to the Library of Spheres,
I just want to say this for roleplay purposes. Roanoke thinks he had Roanoke. Wow. Sorry.
Roanoke's your
Next door.
Roanoke's your other
Sorry,
character.
it's a whole other character. Another dwarf.
Yeah.
Another dwarf. But next door thinks he has a bright idea and goes to pull out his book. He has like a book with blank pages, and like he goes to draw in it with his writing device. He doesn't have painter supplies, so he's not necessarily great at drawing, but he wants to do his best to draw some of the stuff that he's seen, either probably Lucky Luigi and the flying ships, like just one of them. That's his idea. But I have an idea of what's going to happen at a top game.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense to draw all this, write this down. I mean, it's not your mental being is the same as it ever was, right? The curiosity of that person would still remain, even if not everything will snap back to him when he goes.
He would definitely be a little disappointed realizing he can't record any of this, like visually. Not crying, but like distraught. Damn.
Understandable.
Some good information to have. Come on, man.
All right, you may.
Yeah, it is. Like, this is really awesome. Like, can you imagine Nexor going back to the regular world, knowing that beholders are capable of higher thought and fucking like being civil? Like, come on.
I'll give you this. The character Lucky Luigi, and he's a real character. It's very much how he's written. He's a very unique beholder.
And he is straight out of Spelljammer. Like, all of this is from Spelljammer.
He is a standard Spelljammer. Like, the maps are my own creation, but Lucky Luigi is an actual NPC. The Happy Beholder's a real tavern in the lower city. The Library of Spheres is a real place. The docks, the fountains, all of them are technically real in this setting.
Sweet. That sounds like a really fun campaign, really quirky.
It depends. You guys. So I've actually not to metagame too much or talk out of game too much. The Monday crew is just about to jump back into their Spelljammer things, and they're gonna start at the Rocker Brawl. So you guys are kind of getting the maps, a lot of the maps and stuff prepared for them as a part of this little thing that we do, so I don't kill you all while you're short on the dungeon crawl.
Then when they get there, we're just sitting in there.
But you know, it's nice to have a little break every now and then to still play, but to like take a break from the main thing and reset.
This is my version of a beach episode.
Right.
Now I get it.
I get it now.
It's your vacation.
It's canon, but it's not canon. All in quotes.
Yeah, pretty much. Like a lot of animes have like a beach episode that aren't actually a part of it.
Like it has nothing to do with advancing the story, but it still happens. Because like, no matter what story you're talking about, there is going to be downtime, and that's what the beach episode happens during that period.
Would the party like to enter the Library of Spheres?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Mm.
Come on, guys. Nexor is definitely looking excited because this looks something to be excited over.
I'm looking like a blank, emotionless face, but I'm kind of excited because I just kind of want to come in here and maybe find a book of language.
So I'll say this: it's hard to represent height with this map maker, but there are 4 stories. There are little alcoves that go back on each story for the first 3 that go into like rows of bookshelves.
Oh, okay. I see it.
As you step in, the balcony level is all in the main thing. Everything you see now is like tier on top of tier on top of tier with desks and glowing blue spheres. There's a light glow blue in the room. There's a big desk at the front. There are 2 crystal fountains. On the first floor, there is a door behind this creature, one of whom you have briefly spoken to. It looks up and it says, "Welcome to the Library of Spheres. Can I help you?"
First timers here. Explain the spheres, please.
Well, you see, the library is a part of a much bigger collection. The Rock of Brawl is but a drop of our knowledge. Guests from across the multiverse have deposited various books about various creatures. You see, many things can be found here. Our most prized possession, of course, is the lecture hall. Unfortunately, there are no lectures today. Sounds kind of sad when he says that. Make a perception check.
Say that again.
Everybody make a perception check. I just want to see who sees what.
What can never be this good during combat?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, so you don't see a ton. Nyx and Shroud, you basically see everything. So I'll give you a kind of a rundown of the more interesting characters. There seems to be a Githyanki here, some kind of human here. She looks like she could be a hag. Over here looks like a human noble. Arakakra is a bird, man. She is definitely a hag. Not just the green skin gives it away, but the white hair. And she seems to be reading over a book of some sort. You have a gif over in this corner. Some kind of guy wearing a crown there. Most interestingly, though, you see a mind flare sitting there, and his tentacles kind of flaring out as he's looking down at the desk.
I am going to pretend. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna not metagame with that 12. I'm pretty sure I don't see that one in particular.
If somebody in the party wants to point him out to you, it's welcome to. It's just off the rip. Shroud and Nyx are the ones that see the mind flare.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of, I think I just reach over to Nexor and just kind of tug on his robes and just kind of, not really point at the mind flare, but like, kind of maybe point without anyone noticing.
Ooh, I think a 21 allows me to see it now, right?
Sure, you could re-roll it. Yeah, you can see the mind flare.
Okay.
If you have any
let me try
questions,
something.
Rue sees it too, but Rue doesn't seem to be reacting in any special way to it.
Oh,
I'd roll.
I just did a con check and I rolled a 6. I don't know how I'm feeling right now about this mind flare, you guys. Given my experience with another reroll on that con check. To see if I don't flip out. Hello?
What's up?
Are you asking if you can roll another con check?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. You wanted to roll in the first place. You can.
I just want to make sure. Okay, that's a 16. All right, next door is able to contain his inner turmoil, lashing out and freaking out. Given his experience with Lucky Luigi earlier, he's able to constrain him or maintain his composure and not judge everything he sees at first glance. Just kind of leave that creature alone right now.
The merkin behind the desk tells you that you are free. You are free to look at anything, but none of the books are allowed to be taken out of the library.
So just like the books are normal, but the spheres are for what? Just really quick, what are the point of the spheres?
One, they look pretty.
Okay. I mean, it's called the Library of Spheres. Like, is there a point to it, or is it decorative, like you just said? They're pretty.
Well, here's a question. Do you want to interact with the spheres to find out?
I was actually thinking I had to, like, in all honesty.
You're welcome.
I'll even go ahead and touch the one that's right there on the desk in front of us.
So
if I can.
You put your hand in, and it's almost like a little directory. You start moving your hand, and it starts to go through various what are like files.
Dude, that's what I was thinking. It's like a fucking search engine.
It's like a little sphere computer.
That's awesome. Yes. Take me to your fucking information. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Dexter is definitely ignoring the mind flare now. He's giddy as a boy. Like, I don't know if this is basic magic or not from where he comes from, but it's definitely fun.
It's certainly different than organizational systems that you've experienced. It seems
more analog.
It seems in a way more advanced. In a way, it just seems kind of normal here. There's everything that you've seen, even at a distance, is just kind of that much more special. It's like none of this place exists without more than a panache of magic.
Okay, cool. I think knowing that these spheres are a search engine, I think the first thing I would want to search for, so they would probably be going one or two things. One would be information on mind flayers and their history, to learn more about them. And the other thing would be about how to be more, how do I say this? Information on essentially divination, how to be more focused in the tellings, you know?
What do you want to search out first?
Let's go with the mind flayer, history of mind flayers.
So while he's doing that, sticking his hand in this globe, I'm gonna walk up and just talk to the mind flayer and ask him about his people.
All right. Just the actual path would be like that. This is a door that on the second floor. I know it's kind of wonky to see. So
yeah.
The mind flare looks at you as you approach and very gently sets down the book it's reading and closes the cover and just looks at you expectingly. And you ask him about his people?
Yeah, about his kind.
He tells you that he is a mind flare. And in your head, there is this loud, booming voice. And he says, "We are mind flares. We are the rightful rulers of the universe. Kind of you to ask. Would you like to join us?"
No, thank you.
It's a shame. You look like you could be yummy. Your brain, at least.
I would rather stay intact, and I think in this place, I don't think you're allowed to attack us, just like we ain't allowed to attack you.
Well, rules are rules, and exceptions are exceptions. We have a nautiloid that could come pick you up if you want.
No, I don't believe so. I just kind of want to gain some insight.
Where are you from, young man? Young person? Young masked? Young mask?
I don't really know where I'm from.
So if you want to be, you don't have to tell him. If you're with the Red Brands, Phandalin could be considered your home. The Underdark, if you spent a good amount of time there.
I would say, around kind of where the Red Brands hung out. So, but I ain't gonna tell him. So
you don't tell him like Red Brands or anything. You don't tell him.
No. I just tell him I'm from a different place, not from here.
Yes. If you provided me information, I could look that up.
You could look it up? Well, we are in a library. I think I could look it up myself.
Could you help me with maybe a city name or two?
I don't believe I know any city names.
A world with no cities.
I do know city names, but I am not giving up that information to a mind flayer.
That is probably wise, as he looks at you, and every so often the face tentacles kind of just very reactionary, just kind of flurl up just like a quarter of an inch and go back down. He's a thing to look at. You hear a cackling from across the platform. It is very obviously a witch's cackle as she looks down at the interaction between you two.
Oh boy.
Nyx, make an insight check. That green hag has noticed you, and she just every so often gives you a glance and a smile and then wipes it away as if she never noticed you.
Bitch, the fuck you up?
Right?
I was just thinking something. I just kind of chuckled to myself when when the other people get back, if there's fucking mind flares, it's going to be my fault. And I'm going to be.
I was thinking, like, bro, is this guy fishing for info to help his people out? Like, come on, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was definitely fishing, but I ain't giving it up. I ain't gonna be that guy.
I don't know. I mean, what's the character like? That's the thing.
It's like mind flares are just the presence of a mind flare. Big, tall, purplish, tentacled things with very big heads. They are a sight to behold. They really are, as this thing just stands looking down. How tall is Shroud?
Shroud is 5'11".
Yeah, so this thing would be not overly bigger than you, but certainly taller than you. So it's got this look down kind of view.
I just, I think what would be going through Shroud's mind is, you know, if this was any other place than here, like they would be fighting each other.
Yeah.
But since it's here in this library, this peaceful place, that, you know, it's not the right place to do anything or to cause a problem.
Next, or the big blue creature in front of you says, "If you would like, if you have anything to contribute to our library, you're welcome to see the head curator."
Okay. Perhaps I'll see him before I head on out.
You are welcomed. She is very interested in the stories of the multiverse.
Oh, I bet she.
So what do you want to look up? What do you want to try to find first?
To me?
Yeah, or anybody. I mean, anybody is welcome to search through the items of this library.
I was thinking I kind of want to look at green dragon histories and maybe anything on my family history itself.
Okay, family histories might be difficult, but not impossible. Is that what you guys want to explore first? Nick?
I have my own books to look for, but yeah,
All right.
I would kind of just want to scour the contents of this library for a time.
All right, Nix, make an intelligence roll to try to navigate this blue sphere's information. And do you want to look up general green dragon information first? Monk.
Probably, because that could probably lead to the other thing.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll and make an intelligence roll to see how much you can find. Okay, it gives you a general area, and if you would ask the directions, you would basically go up 1, 2, and then on the 3rd floor, you would head this way. This is a doorway into the 3rd floor.
So this way?
Yeah, you'd basically up to the 3rd floor up here, and then over this way. And as you go by the hag, she says, "You look very familiar. Have we met before?"
I go back to her and go, "So what do you know about me, hag?"
Well, I know many things. I could help you know many things.
Ooh.
Would you like to make a deal?
Damn.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know most about yourself, sweetie?
Wheel? Where to start? Where to start? What kind of deal do you want to make?
Oh, it could be anything. I could offer you knowledge beyond knowledge. Of course, the more valuable the information, the higher the price.
What kind of prices are we talking?
Well, say you wanted to know the location of a big green monster. I could provide you that, and then in exchange, I would give you one of my eyes in exchange for yours, and we could see the world together.
Don't know about exchanging eyeballs. I'm kind of particular to mine.
Well, you could trade your silvery tongue. That's always a possibility.
I kind of like my tongue as well.
Oh, not your real tongue, sweetie. No. Just its ability to speak well, and, those kind of things, they make me feel warm inside. You would whisper all your sweet nothings to me. Your Aunt Adis. I could make many a deal with you. It's all in what you want, and then all in what I want. Maybe you might ask yourself, what happened to an egg a long time ago? Oh,
Did you take my egg?
Me? Oh, no. Sisters. I know sisters. And woe to the sisters came between me and my mister. Oh, how dare they? Yes, they'll pay. Oh, yes, but...
So are they not friends of yours anymore?
Oh, friends. Friends are such transitory things. You know, some come and some go. And some come back again. And some need to pay for what they did. And after they pay, then things can return to the way. Everything in exchange for another, though. I want one thing, you want another.
I mean, I could help you make them pay.
Yes, I think so too. But the best way to do that would be to put a little piece of me into you. Don't you want to be on my team? To have my knowledge? She pulls out a card and she taps her hands and you feel it appear in your pocket. She doesn't even touch you. And she says, in time, you'll find that. And don't worry, when you snap back, it will find you at just the right time.
Do I know what kind of a card she gave me?
You look at it and it says, what did I say? Aunt Edith? It says Aunt Edith for all your worldly needs. It's basically a business card.
Am I supposed to visit this aunt?
I'm Aunt Edith, of course. When you're ready to make a deal, even if you forget, you'll remember when the time is right. I don't think you're ready yet. A time will come. A time will come. Now, good luck finding your dragons. and she turns away from you and she closes a book. And the cover of the book that she has reads Lore and History of Green Dragons.
How ironic.
That bitch.
That's no way to talk about our team.
I should have taken my ball. I'm not ready for that.
And she snaps her fingers and vanishes. The book remains on the table, though.
Oh, well, I might want to take a glance at that book.
You want to take a leaf through that book?
Yes, I do.
All right. Do you sit in the chair that she was sitting in?
Probably.
There's a warmth to the chair. Hag butt is certainly warm, maybe even a little bit wet.
Ew, gross, no. Never mind,
Right,
she can't find in that chair so quick.
It's like down and then nope.
Nope! That's a no!
That's a big nope
gross.
out of that chair.
Yes.
So you can sit in the other chair. If you start going through the book, make an intelligence roll. Oof. It's hard to glean a lot of information. You start looking through it, maybe turning a page too quick, and then too many pages at once. You get the general sense that green dragons are regarded as evil creatures that typically inhabit forest. But then you start going through, it's almost like you can't find any solid information with that roll.
Okay.
Nexer, what do you explore for?
Well, seeing as the Mind Flayer is preoccupied speaking to Shroud, would just first go with searching for those books on like Mind Flayer history and like a general, just to get a general sense of like what they're all about. And maybe even information about aberrations in general as well.
All right, make an intelligence roll to try to navigate this information.
Nice.
Did it roll? I didn't see it roll. What did it roll?
Intelligence, what? Like
Just an
just a
intelligence
check?
roll. Yeah, just an intelligence roll. You're basically just seeing how smart you are to navigate this sphere's Dewey Decimal System.
Oh shit, no.
So you find like M for mind flares, and the section seems to be up first, up second, and then on the third floor, go this way and enter this set of stacks. The mind flare won't bother you as you go through, but how do you interact when you pass the mind flare? Because there's only one way up: stairs, stairs, cross.
I don't, because I feel like this would probably be happening as Shroud is having his own conversation.
Okay.
So I just wouldn't bother being rude in that regard.
All right. Shroud, you see. Actually, I'm gonna go with the easy route and reveal all. And so you enter those sets, and if I can grab you without rolling, you enter there, and the path is up around here. The Library of Spheres has a lot of stacks. So do you make your... I'm assuming you continue making your way towards that point?
Yes.
I'm just going to move you up there.
Thank you, because I was trying to find my own token for a second too, and I couldn't.
You are now in the upper left. As I said, it's hard to represent depth in map making things, so this is the best way that I went about it, and I honestly kind of like the outcome.
No, it's well done.
Yeah.
It gives you all of the rooms right there, and it's just like you said, it's a top-down representation all at once.
All right, so the first Mind Flare book you come across, it's obviously a book about mind flares. You pull it out and you start reading through it. Go ahead and give me another intelligence check to see how much of this book you can kind of reasonably take in a short period of time.
I swear to God, if I roll another low number, there we go, that's better.
All right, so the book that you are reading details the history of the Mind Flare Empire in the astral plane, its enslavement of the Githyanki and Githzara people, and then it has accounts of the war that the Githyanki and Githzara did in order to break free of the Mind Flare entanglements. And it lists things like mind flares, having nautiloid ships, reproduction of mind flares, mind flare attitudes during combat, mind flare tactics from the point of view of this author, of course. So it's a fairly...
nautiloid ship?
It does mention nautiloid ships, and it does have an illustration of this be-tentacled giant ship with gray living walls.
Ooh.
It provides this is a book about the Mind Flare Githyanki war that overthrew the Mind Flare Empire in the astral realms.
Okay. That's actually really good. That's really good. Because it would also talk about it probably wouldn't go into detail about, but it would give insight into their objective and, overall goal.
As you start...
It's obvious to be world conquest.
Wherever they are, it's normally world conquest, yes. So it has a lot of information, and like any other book, you would know, being an intelligence-based character, that all books are written from the point of view of the author. So you don't necessarily...
What is the author's name?
The author is a Githyanki named Quellic.
Quellic?
Quellic. Q-U-E-L-L-I-C-K. Quellic.
Oh my God, I'm so good.
So you also have that point of view, that it is written from a Githyanki point of view.
Right, which is great. Does it by chance mention anything about individualized tactics involving maybe mind flare spies or plants or something other of that nature?
Make an additional intelligence check.
Or even employing others as spies? Let's see. Come on.
Because this is like a detailed. You're trying to find very detailed information in what's a rather big book.
Natural 25.
You start leafing through, and you start seeing things about intellect devourers, pulling out the brains of people and using both those shells and those husks as kind of spy characters. And it goes, when it talks, the first instance that it talks about intellect devourers, It describes it as a brain ripped out of a skull and given a life unto itself and put on the ground to behave as a pet or a dog.
Mm. What about detection methods? Anything about that as well, or no?
It doesn't go into like single one-on-one combat, whatnot. It talks about overarching battles. It talks
Okay.
about battles that occurred in space and on land, and about heroes of the rebellions. But beyond that, again, take what you will from a point of a Gith Yankee book.
I won't ask for them to be recited now, but I would like to make a mental note of some of those names that are described as heroes of war.
Okay. We can get into that later.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, is there anything else you guys want to do with the Library of Spheres?
I mean, I think I'm good. Yeah, I got nothing from this mind flare except for he wants to eat my brain.
You do feel Ro starting to tug at you, saying, "Let's go to the docks. Let's go to the docks."
So let's go to the docks.
Does anybody want to like stay at the library, or do you guys want to head towards the docks?
I'm good to head towards the docks.
Yeah, I guess I'll just get better at being a divination wizard the hard way.
That's okay. Canonically, you're not going to remember any of this anyway.
What good information to have, and you take it away.
All right, so the party returns to the streets of the Rock of Brawl, and I'm assuming that you guys are going to head back down from the Library of Spheres, across the festival grounds again, maybe take a little bit of a detour across the streets, and eventually end up back at the docks, yes?
Yep.
All right, and as ever...
Is this the map you made too?
No, this is the official Rock of Brawl map.
Okay.
This is what 5e's Rock of Brawl actually looks like. My maps aren't this pretty.
Hey, I like your maps, and honestly, I might be hitting you up trying to see how to get something made. I wanna try to get at least one map made for something personal.
Alright, so
Oh no! I can't load. There we go.
let me populate characters. Shroud, Nexor, and Nyx. Alright, so one thing that you notice is, I'm putting you all back on the docks. One thing that you notice is that if you take a step off of the docks, it seems like you're going to fall down into this astral space, right? It seems like a very big clear fall. So that there is that sensation. Even though it seems like everything flying by or moving through doesn't have a certain up or down point. Oh, I forgot to give you a space hamster.
Oh no, Roo! No, we're...
There you go, you got a space hamster.
No.
Roo! You see one specific ship that's a little bit bigger, and there is a character on there. He's very elvish in nature. He's got a big black cape. He's waving you guys over, and he says, "Come on, Luigi told me you're coming. Hop on the Lionheart. We're going to go for a drive." How does the party react?
I guess we're following Nexor. Yeah, why not?
I mean, I'm not really taking point, I'm just moving the token where it should be. I'm kind of giving Rue little like chin scratches though.
Rue
even
loves
though
it.
he can talk.
Rue absolutely loves if you give him attention. If you dot over him with attention, he will like almost roll on your shoulder. And
Good, because I'm not trying to think of him as a pet, but being that he's an animal, I figure he would still respond in kind.
oh yeah, he loves you. He loves the attention. As the group,
Look, I'm a human being. I still like physical touch so yeah.
as the party sets on the ship, he tells you, "Hello, my name is Altheid. It's a pleasure to meet you. Would you all like to take a trip on the Astral Sea?"
That's why we're here, Altheid.
It is my pleasure. Have you ever had the pleasure of spell jamming before?
Never. I don't think any of us have ever even heard of it. Looking around at the other two.
Well, this chair is our spell jammer. I am going to sit in it, and we're going to have a very smooth ride across the Astral Sea until a wonderful place that many people here love to see. And then we will return to our destination. He sits down, and as he does, the 4 spheres around that platform begin to glow, and the ship slowly pulls away from the dock. And as you pull away and you start to look back, you start to notice that there is all of this life and movement around the Rock of Brawl in this just large asteroid chunk. It looks like it has fin underneath. There is a silver line that kind of traverses the plane, and it's almost everywhere you look. And in the distance are splotches of darkness and then splotches of color. And it's like this place has this just magical essence to it. And as
this looks like something off an acid trip, dude. I love it.
So the ship, the Lionheart, slowly pulls away. And
no, put it back. Put it back.
For the better part of a day, the Lionheart heads south, and Altheid, for that time, he just kind of points and he indicates different things, tells the group different histories about the ship and about the Astral Sea. Nyx, he keeps talking to you, and he's presenting himself as this larger than life figure that's went on these adventures in almost an obvious attempt to just kind of like impress you specifically, at least you over the boys specifically.
Real.
Use that charisma.
But that is largely the trip for most of the day until the party reaches the fountains. And then at the fountain, he pulls the ship around and he twists the ship so that it's belly side up. And if you have an expectation to fall, you hold tight to the deck. And he would explain that the ship has a gravity plane, in that any way the ship moves, the deck is always up.
There is no up or down in space.
Let's see. Something went wrong. What went wrong?
Yeah, I've been having trouble with
There we
these
go.
maps today. Like, they've been not loading well.
All right, so as he pulls into this magical area, big bursts of light pop up to the left and the right. And there is a sparkle in the air, and electricity kind of shoots along the bottom of the ship. And I gotta populate people. Should have populated you guys before this. It's fine. All right.
Watch us still be there when you use it for your Monday group.
Actually,
Like, hello, people. Go on the trip with you. Pay them no attention.
So Nyx, he hands you what looks to almost be fish food. And he says, take this and throw it off the end and see what you get.
Which end?
He points with his left hand. He waves this way and he waves that way. He says, this astral sea is your oyster. Go ahead and throw it and roll a d4.
Which dice is that again?
Pyramid dice. It'll probably be the first. It'll be the first one on the custom one.
I'm just joking.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said the one with 4 sides.
Roll one.
All right. So with a 1, the first things that pop up, you see these eel-like creatures come and they start feeding off the things that you just threw. And they are flying just like the ship. There is like no bottom, and they start to kind of swirl in and out of themselves. And after all the food's gone for a moment, they look over the side, almost asking for more food.
What's the name of the ship again? The Lion's Head?
Lionheart. Nyx, if you want to throw more food, Althea will just very naturally hand you more things, more little bits of food to give these creatures.
Give me more. I want to feed more.
He stands a little bit too close and he says, of course, take this, and if you hold one very delicately over the edge, and he hands one, and between his thumb and finger, he just holds it out, and one of the eels comes up, very gently takes it, and then slithers away its body, making that S shape through space. He says, go ahead and try.
So she repeats what he just did.
Make an animal handling check.
Wait. Yeah.
Your advantage.
Make it
Not a good
He should. He's kind of helping her.
make a dexterity.
Althea.
Make a dexterity saving throw real quick.
Great. I'm going over the ship, guys.
Oh no! Thanks. No.
No.
It doesn't hurt you, but it grabs the food from you and it kind of scrapes the end of your finger as it takes it and very quickly slides away. Al says they do take time to warm up to you.
Luckily, it's got a lot of teeth.
The eels just kind of hang out for a minute. Shroud, he walks up to you and he gives you some, not as flirtatiously, but he gives you some and he says, see if you can bring anything of beauty.
And I will tell him in Elvish, thank you. And
He'll smile and nod.
I will throw it over the side.
Roll a d4.
It's a 4.
Let's see. All right, so with a 4, what you see, you see coming up from behind a large group that kind of swarms the ship, and like their name suggests, they look like little guppies just kind of swimming in the sea. And they don't seem to be hostile to the eels at all. The eels don't seem to be hostile to them. They're just kind of pacing with the ship. Al says, "Space guppies. They're very cute and honestly decently delicious if cooked right. You have to season things."
That would have been my next question. How do they taste? I'm glad he answered that.
He walks over and he will hand you what looks to be like a fishing pole. He says, "If you want, you can see if one will nibble."
I would like to try.
All right. Make a dexterity. Make a dexterity check.
That would be a 12.
Alright, let's see how good space guppies are. It doesn't take the bait. With the 12, it looks at it and it just kind of goes away. And Al shrugs and says, "Some days you get the fish, other days the fish fly away." They seem to just kind of be there, and everything's just kind of rolling around with it. The ship's stationary, they're kind of bobbing along with it. Nexer, from your point of view on the other side, all of these just space guppies are there. And they do, just so we're clear, go underneath the ship and exchange sides too. And some of them even kind of go over the ship. They are moving around in 3-dimensional space.
Interesting.
Actually, Shroud, if you want to try to catch this one as it goes over the ship, let's see. Let's go ahead and do a dex. How are you good at sleight of hand? Do a sleight of hand check.
I am.
Do a sleight of hand check. You're basically going against its AC.
Ooh, that ain't good. 9.
Nope, it goes over and across, and it's probably the same one that dodged out of the way of your fishing pole. Al looks at you and says, "You become a better fisherman as you go." Nexer. If you look back at Al, it looks like he's going to throw you a pouch of fish food.
I kind of like politely decline with a simple hand gesture. I'm busy talking to Rue, trying to get him to come back with us. Yeah, I'm trying to get him to come back with us. I don't want to leave him behind. I think he could be really useful, and I think he would have fun. And I also think that it would be, mutually beneficial. He was talking about, give and take earlier in the tavern. I don't know if that was just the penguin people that he was referring to or not.
Roll an insight check. Roll an insight check on Rue.
Oh God, I'm not good at insight checks.
Both my partners are going to have giant miniature space hamster pets. He
no, I just want the small cube one.
I'll say it seems genuine. He seems to be excitable for adventure.
Good. I mean, as a wizard, I never did find a worthy familiar. So,
it could be this
if you
miniature
want,
giant space hamster.
No giant space hamsters. I mean, unless if you can cast resize on yourself and become one, that's great. But
miniature
as
giant
the
space
default,
hamsters.
I don't think that would be good.
He's
Small is good.
He's technically a miniature giant space hamster.
He's a miniature giant space
That's
hamster.
technically what he is.
Well, him being small is a blessing. Others may give him shit for it, but I'm gonna help him prove that being minuscule is a good thing. And as a dwarf, I kind of, gesture my own posture and be like, look, man, I might be, dismissible based off of my size, but look, you come from this place, you guys have hella knowledge. I'm sure you know what dwarves are capable of.
He looks proud of himself and his chest pops out and goes, I have so much information I could write a book. They think that the most famous space hamster wrote a book about monsters. Boo ain't got nothing on me. Wait till it's Rue's Astral Menagerie. That would be a book that sells. Rue's Astral Menagerie. Woo! We could do it.
And you know what?
I could draw pictures. You could draw me a picture. Can you draw pictures?
Well, not only that, but you could sell multiples. You could turn it into a series. And your adventures, should you decide to tag along with us, could even become their own mini-series or a spin-off.
Yeah.
Imagine that. You become a multi-world renowned author just from coming along and experiencing something new.
We could be stars. I like where you're going with this.
You know what? That's not my personal
sidekick
agenda.
Nexer. I like this.
No, not sidekick, companion. I wouldn't want you to feel lesser.
Yeah, we could be companions.
Yes. Rue, come back with us.
That'd be so cool. Al steps over and he has a handful of this food and he says, here goes nothing. And he throws a ton of it out and it hangs in, I don't want to call this air, although there is an air envelope. It hangs and it slowly propels out from the ship. And he says, fingers crossed, everybody. You have to see this when you're in the fountains. And after a minute, after a long minute, you hear the sound in the distance, far off. It almost sounds like a whale. And then surging up from below, you see this whale of a creature come in the distance, break through a set of clouds, and start kind of floating around the food, and it looks like it's eating it. And this astral whale blows out from side ports what looks to be more of these fountain-like materials. And then after a minute, another one pops up in the distance and you hear very clearly this crystal whale song that reverberates around the ship. And as it does, it begins to slow and stretch, and the light around the group, the materials, they begin to stretch and pull. And then after a moment of blinding flashing light, your ears begin to ring, and where is... I hate it when it tells me something's wrong. And after a minute, as if nothing happened, with no memory of Rue, with no memory of Luigi or the Library of Spheres, the Hag, the Kandori, the lion heart, you hear the end of Framp's words. Hey guys, what I miss? And that seems like a good place to end your brief beach day at Spelljammer.
That was awesome.
That was a
That
good
was
one.
good.
That Spelljammer is to me, Spelljammer is one of my favorite settings. 5e didn't really do it extraordinarily well, but it is a very fun idea in my mind.
Now, when the other group, when they go there, we need to be on stage, or there needs to be a book written by Rue
Yeah,
in the library.
Yeah.
You're in the same universe as them, so there might be a hit or two that you have been to the Rock of Brawl, or at least the three of you have been to the Rock of Brawl.
I mean, Captain Potamus does have my autograph.
Captain Potamus does have your autograph. He does. I wonder if we'll ever see any of these creatures again. Not impossible.
I'm just saying, if you go ahead and put a book in there written by Rue, and he's, done any kind of shit with us, you gotta let me have him for a little bit. Come on.
Miniature giant space hamsters are fun little creatures. Who knows what could happen in the future?
Funny thing, I messaged Mary earlier and I told her, don't worry, I didn't give any information to the Mind Flayer. And she's like, I miss Mind Flayer? Damn it. And I'm like, it's not what you think.
Right.
It was a fun beach day.
Yes, it was.
All right, I'm hoping next week that everybody's back together and we can continue traversing Talhundreth and hopefully beat this dwarven stronghold.
Yeah, and Echo can give me some health, or we can take a short or long rest.
I always am a fan of a short rest. Nix knows how I feel about long rests.
Yep, I sure do.
You gotta remember, I've watched all the episodes now. I am all caught up, so I know what long rest entail.
Just remember.
Fire Kangaroo.
Just remember, when you're in play, you move the world. When you're at rest, the world moves around you. It's a very simple philosophy.
And I think that, like if I'm asleep at night, the world doesn't sleep with me.
Exactly. It's like video games wait for triggers for like a guy will sit in a room, the big bad will sit in a room for however long it takes you to trigger him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's not necessarily the case with this. That's the benefit of running a game like this over a computer. We have infinitely more adaptability with story than a computer does. Which is why Chat GPT will never be a DM. A good DM.
I like hearing that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've used Chat GPT, but I would never take it over a real GM, DM.
All right, I don't want to go to work tomorrow, but they make me.
Aww.
So I'm gonna.
I feel you. I gotta go work Sunday.
All right. I truly enjoyed our excursion into Spelljammer. As I said, it's one of my favorite settings to run, and it's fun to give people that little bit of taste of a setting that is wildly different from the setting that they're in.
Oh my God, is it so much wild?
Yes.
I don't even know what Spelljammer is, but I mean, if it, if the whole thing's like that, it's crazy.
Spelljammer is D&D in space.
I didn't like it. I dig it.
It is a very fun setting to run.
I like the map. I like the map of the rock.
Uh-huh.
I did too, especially when we was flying away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's such
the
a
artist
pretty
did a good
thing.
job with that one.
You guys technically have access to the spell jammer setting through our shared stuff. So if you guys are ever curious about the stuff that's in there, there's fun stuff and there's wacky stuff. Like there's literally vampire pirates called vampirates.
Ew.
They're fun.
Fun.
All right, I'm gonna cut out of here for the night. The others will just have to watch and see what insanity they missed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
And they're like, how come we didn't get to experience it because you suck?
Y'all took a long rest.
Yeah, y'all took a rest.
no rest for the party.
Never.
Good night, guys.
That's great.